Hi everyone, here to talk about our new menu that we just released for our 3 and 5 course prefix. So this menu is called California Poppy Menu. One of the major differences that I'm seeing between our previous menu, the Marigold menu, and the California Poppy is we're not in that shoulder season anymore. We just started into spring and it's here and we're feeling it. The strawberries are great. We're getting asparagus from Roscoe Zuckerman and Stockton, all those fun spring ingredients that we all look forward to getting out of that kind of doldrums of winter are here and they're great, so we're going to celebrate them. So the format is very similar and we're going to keep with a similar format throughout these menus. One of the things that I really want to focus on is just simplicity. It's getting our hands on some incredible products and respecting those products and presenting them in a way that's really approachable, but also where we can apply our techniques where necessary. So some of the highlights from the new menu. We're featuring Roscoe Zuckerman's asparagus as one of our first courses, and this is a really just restrained, clean, simple presentation where we poach the asparagus in its own juice. So the bottom part of the asparagus is very woody. It's not very pleasant to eat. It's going to be a little bit stringy. So we chop those off. We run those through a vegetable juicer, and then we very lightly cook the tops of the asparagus in those juices. Gives a little bit more of that kind of asparagus-y punch. And then we chill them down very quickly and then serve them very traditionally with sauce crebiche. Sauce crebiche is a French sauce. It's chilled, very, very easy, very bright, complements the asparagus incredibly, has a little bit of chopped egg, cornichon, capers in there. And then a little bit of crouton to finish it off for a little bit of texture. And then our friends at Oakdale Gouda are still aging cheeses for us. And our Gouda right now is probably about 3 years old. And it's incredible. It has this nuttiness, a little bit of sweet butterscotch notes to it. So we finish off the asparagus with that. So we really want the asparagus to shine in that dish. And then as our soup, we're using cauliflower, but we're using, to complement the cauliflower, that sweet nuttiness that you get from it. We have Umaboshi or ume for short. They're green plums that we pickled, and you do the plums before they ripen. Our friends at K&J Orchards brought them to us, and then we pickled them in salt, and then they release their own juices, and it preserves them. So you have this really nice kind of salty, sour note, and it complements the rich, sweet kind of nuttiness that you get in the cauliflower. So cauliflower soup, it's rich without being creamy. We just finish it off just light with a little bit of cream, but cauliflower, once you puree it, has that inherent creaminess to it. So the combination is really great and the texture is incredible. Our pasta course has a lot of opportunity to celebrate the spring ingredients here. So we're doing 2 different dishes. One of them is a true pasta, one of them is a risotto. The pasta, we brought in some incredible bucatini. We're making carbonara in the traditional Roman way. You're not going to see any cream in this dish. You're not going to see any peas in this dish. You're not going to see any garlic or anything like that. The 5 ingredients, the pasta, the guanciale, the egg, pecorino romano, and a good amount of Tellicherry black peppercorn, and that's it. But it's an incredible dish when it's executed really well, very fast, and it's something you want to eat really quickly. But a classic pasta dish, and we're happy to celebrate it. And then the risotto, we're using Jacopi's first of the season English peas. So we cook the rice in a little bit of pea stock, and we also juice the pea pods. So it pulls out this really nice, deep green color. And then we pick that up with some fresh peas that we cook within the risotto while it's warming up. And then we finish it off with a little bit of whipped goat cheese from Sonoma, and then some Parmigiano Reggiano and lemon agrumato oil. Agrumato oil from the south of Italy. It's an olive oil that's been infused with lemons from the Amalfi Coast. So on our 5-course menu, we had a lot of fun with the appetizers. We're still sticking with the pork belly. I know that we've had pork belly for a very long time, so it's going to be a little hard to get away from it, but that's okay. So we marinate the pork belly a little bit different than we have in the past. We do a Jamaican-style jerk marinade, and we let that marinate for 3 days. And then we slow cook the pork belly, and then right at the end before we serve it, we pick it up at a really, really high temperature. So it gives it that nice char that you look for in a piece of jerk meat, whether it's chicken or whether it's pork, whatever. And then to serve with it, we kind of had a little bit of fun with this. Oscar, our sous chef, had suggested that maybe we do a mango salsa. Myself being adverse to mango salsa, having made it so many times in my career within the last 20 years, I didn't want to do mango salsa in the traditional form, so I said let's have some fun with it. So we actually take the mangoes and then we lacto ferment them for 7 days. Once they're fermented, all the sugars kind of go away, but it presents this really nice umami and this pleasant funk. And then we char the mango to stop the ferment with a little bit of Scotch bonnet peppers, which are also in the marinade, and then some red onion. Puree that to a really nice smooth consistency, and then we build the flavor back up like a traditional mango salsa with a little bit of honey and then a whole lot of lime and lime zest. So that punch, that sweetness, and that umami really complements that pork belly. And then just to finish it off, we have a little bit of puffed rice to kind of give a nod to a traditional serving of a jerk pork. We're also serving artichoke dip. It's spring, so how can we not be using these gorgeous artichokes? But we brought in ricotta cheese from Bellwether Farms. It's a farm I've used for many years. They're in western Sonoma, right around Valley Ford, so just south of Point Reyes. And they make a Jersey milk ricotta, which is incredible and sweet and luscious and creamy. So we poach off some baby artichokes, fold that into the ricotta, and then season it up very simply just to kind of keep the cleanliness of all those great ingredients that are there, and then serve a little bit of our grilled Italian bread. And then our salmon tartare is also a very fun dish. So we take the belly, which is the richer part of the salmon. We still use our Creative King salmon, which is sustainably farmed salmon operation out of Vancouver Island. And then we mix that very simply with a little bit of olive oil, shallots, and just a touch of citrus. And then we put that on top of some smashed avocado. And then on the side, we serve some waffle chips, and they're seasoned with herbamar. Herbamar is a European seasoning. It's sea salt mixed with some dehydrated vegetables and herbs that's made in France. Two of the entrees that I'm really excited about. One of them is on both the 3 and the 5 course, and one is just for the 5 course. But the one that's on both the 3 and the 5 course is oyster mushroom patty melt. So this is a vegetarian option, but we had a lot of fun with this one. So we kind of imagined a classic patty melt of beef and caramelized onions and rye bread and Swiss cheese, and kind of took a little spin on that. So we're using the oyster mushrooms that we get from our friend Robin at Deadwood Mushrooms, who cultivates these mushrooms for us. He's out in Tracy. And then we slow cook them until they're nice and tender but still have a little bit of bite to them. And then we serve them with our rye panda mie bread that we griddle, get a nice crust on there, and then we roast leeks and puree those with a little bit of Cornichon juice to give a little bit of that bright pickly note. And then one of my favorite cheeses, Taleggio, so from northern Italy. Soft and ripe and just a little bit funky. We melt that over the mushrooms, but it really pulls out that earthiness from the mushrooms. And then we toast all that and press it together, and it's just so satisfying, and you're not missing the meat at all. The initial response has been incredible, and it's a really earthy and just wholesome dish. And then just to kind of lighten everything up, we're getting some beautiful lettuces from Matt and Helena at Happy Acre Farms just down the road in Sunol. I was really excited to bring in guinea hen from Joyce Farms out of North Carolina. So Joyce Farms, they're a family farm who've been raising guinea hens for generations, and they're just incredibly passionate about their product and their ranch. They get so involved in what the guinea hens are eating, how they're living, how they're being raised. They're completely free range. And the cool thing about guinea hen, it's on the chicken flavor spectrum. It's stepped up a little bit. So, I mean, going from a chicken, then you would go into a Cornish game hen, which has a little bit more of a gaminess to it, and then one step up with the guinea hen. And it's kind of towing the line somewhere between chicken, turkey, and duck. So it has that tender sweetness that you're going to find in chicken, particularly in the breasts. And then the legs, because they are free range and they work a little bit more, you're going to get more of kind of a turkey duck flavor in the legs. So because of that, we really want to keep things simple, and we just season them very delicately, salt, pepper, and just a touch of brown sugar. The breast we just roast in a pan, get the skin crispy, and the leg we confit for 12 hours, making sure it's very tender and fall off the bone. And then we serve those with some butter beans from Jacobi Farms and a little bit of kale from Happy Acre Farms. Very simple and clean dish, light finish of some aged balsamic on top. And for dessert, what would springtime be without strawberry shortcake? But we took our spin on the strawberry shortcake, and we're doing strawberry shortcake donuts. So the way we assemble this dish, we serve the donuts tossed with a hibiscus sugar. I love incorporating hibiscus in with strawberries because that tartness just pulls out a little bit more of that natural strawberry flavor without things being too sweet. So the donuts themselves, we toss them in a hibiscus sugar, and then the strawberries we're getting from Rudy Vasquez out of Moss Landing. We macerate those also with a touch of hibiscus, and then we pour those over top of the donuts, and then a bourbon creme chantilly to kind of round it out. Our chocolate dessert, we wanted to have a little bit of fun, and we're calling it a Snickers Cake. So all the familiar flavors of Snickers, we kind of folded into one of our layer cakes. So it starts off with a chocolate sponge cake, and then we do a layer of nougat. On top of that nougat are some candied peanuts. And then we finish that with a chocolate cremeux made with our Valrhona chocolate. We glaze the top of the cake, and then we finish it with an aerated salted caramel mousse. So it has all those familiar flavors of Snickers, but it's just stepped up in a little bit more of an adult presentation. And then the last dessert, this one is just available on our 5-course. This is a celebration of 2 really distinct ingredients from one orchard. So we put together what we're calling a Hoshigaki Pecan Pie. Hoshigaki, they're the Hachiya persimmons that are harvested in November, and then we receive them and we hang them. And what that does is it dries out the persimmon. They have to get massaged on a daily basis, and that works the natural sugars to kind of pull out to the exterior of the fruit. And then once that's dried, it tastes like the best piece of dried fruit you ever had. But it does have a little bit of kind of caramel undertones, which we thought would play really well with a traditional pecan pie. Now, the pecans that we got from K&J Orchards are equally as incredible. They have this kind of mapley undertone to them, and they're spectacular. We do receive them in the shell, and we've been cracking them throughout the last few weeks to get them ready for this dessert. We'll be saving the shells, and you're going to find a dish on the next menu where we use those shells to smoke, whether it's going to be a chicken or whether it's pork. I don't know, I haven't written the dish yet, but just we waste nothing here, and they're going to impart so much of a nice flavor. But the pie itself is very traditional outside of that. It's a classic pecan pie with the hoshigaki folded in, just a little bit of vanilla gelato on top to round it out. Once again, very simple and clean, but showcasing two incredible ingredients from one of our farming partners who we worked with for many years. And those are some highlights from our California Poppy menu. We're really excited about this new format. If you like the Marigold menu, come in for the California Poppy menu before it goes away. We really appreciate all the support as we rolled out this new format. We're really excited. We're able to do some things that we haven't been able to do in the past, and we're able to connect with you on a different level. So we're really excited moving forward, and we're really excited about the dishes that we're putting on here. So we hope to see you come check out the California Poppy.